Up, everybody? How's it going today? I am taking a look at Bitcoin right now. As you know, yesterday we had an amazing rally and Bitcoin decided to wake up, right? So I was sort of, you know, expecting it, but not that fast. I was looking at this as a Wyckoff accumulation event. I mean, look at this. Before we get into that, Bitcoin went up about 30%. That's about $9,000. Bitcoin went up $9,000 within about a week. So I think that's pretty amazing. So a lot of people are looking at this right here. We broke out, right? So if we zoom in right here, you can see we've been in this sort of this range. We're ranging. So a lot of times what happens is the price, we have wave 1, wave 2, all of that's wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. That's what people were looking at. But what it looks like now is that's not the case. To me, what is the case is this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was our first wave to the upside. Now we had an A, B, and a flat C. So that was a 3-wave move. Guys, the market moves in 5s and 3s. 5s and 3s. Also 7s. So 7s are typically in impulse moves and massive capitulation correction moves. 5s and 3s are trends. So as you can see, looking at the chart, we had 5 waves to the upside and a 3-wave move to the downside. So logic dictates that, okay, this is our wave 1. Let me put that on the annotation so you can see it. This is a wave 1, right? This right here was wave 2. And now, potentially, we're going into wave 3. And then we'll pull back for 4. And then maybe hit one more for 5. So that would be, if we have 5 waves, this is the start of most likely a new bull run. The reason why is because if it was 3 waves, it would be a correction, just like this right here. So you see how this was A, B, C, that's a correction. So 3 waves, correction. If you have 5 waves, that's the start of an impulse, right? So what we can see happening right now is either this is a retracement or this is a new bull run. So for example, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, 5s and 3s. That's 5s. Okay, so now we're going up for 1. This was 2, and now we're going up to 3. And what is that? Take that off. That, my friends, is a retracement. That is an ABC. So this would be A, B, C. And that is just this move, maybe not that big, but this move, this ABC right here, that move is correcting this massive down move right here. That's what that's doing. So we had 5 waves to the downside. Well, if you count the subwaves, we actually had 7. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 waves, but traditional 5 waves. And we had a 3-wave pullback. So we had 5 waves down, 3 waves up. So technically, this could be over now, right? So let me take this off. Let me take that off, and let me take that off. Take everything off, and I'll show you right here that this, is A, B, and now we need C. So C should be proportional with A, right? So it's actually, I wouldn't, if this is, guys, if this is an ABC, it's not finished to the upside. If it's an impulse wave, it's definitely not finished to the upside. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. I think we still have more gas in the tank. I think we do. That doesn't mean we're not going to get corrections and pullbacks along the way. Remember, this is the 3-day chart I'm looking at. We can easily pull back for 2 months, right? We consolidate for 2 months. I mean, just look at this right here. When we were going up, it corrected for, what was this, April all the way to October. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October. That's 6 months. It corrected for 6 months. Now that was the B wave, right? So we're in the C wave. C waves are more impulsive. B waves are obviously corrections. So what we're gonna see is the C wave, right? So how many waves are in C? We want 5 waves, right? So the A wave has 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now the C wave needs 5 waves. So this would be 1, 2. Now we're in 3. We don't know if 3's finished yet. And then we're going to pull back for 4 and then 5. So look out for this correction right there. That'll be the 4th wave of C. So just to make it clear, I will put this here. So that's, and guys, let me zoom in here. This is actually even more bullish because we have a 1, 2, 1, 2. And a 1, 2 is even more bullish. Let me go down to, let's go down to the daily chart. And let me get rid of that, and that. And now look at this. Check this out. So we just finished our B wave, right? So B, so here was 5 waves right here. 5. Oops. 5 waves. Okay. After the 5th wave is done, we have a wave to the downside. That's wave 1. We have a wave to the upside. That's wave 2. And we have a wave down to the downside. That's wave 3. So that's A, B, C. A, B, C. And that, my friends, completes the B wave. Okay, so now we have a 3-wave move. That's why I was getting extremely bullish. I don't know if you've seen my posts for the last long time, but I've been sharing my posts like crazy. Wyckoff accumulation, maybe you've seen it. That this right here was actually a spring phase of something bigger, right? So anyway, now I'm going to take everything off the screen. I like clean charts so we can identify what I'm saying here. Okay, so look at this. We have a 1, 2. 1, 2. That's a 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. And now this is now we're going into wave 3. So this is 1, 2. All of that's 3, 4, and then probably we're going to get 5. Okay, that's going to be wave 3. Then we're going to go down for wave 4. 5, 4, 5. And why did I do 4, 5, 4, 5? Because we had a 1, 2, 1, 2. Anytime you have, a 1, 2, 1, 2, you're going to get 3, 4. You're going to get 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. If that makes sense. So I know it's a little confusing. I won't get into all of that, but not confirmed yet. This could be something else other than a 1, 2, but it looks very bullish. Anytime you have something like where it's getting ready to ramp up, I mean, you can totally tell. A lot of people thought this could be like, a bear flag, right? Because it's trending higher, before going down. But oftentimes it could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we get 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And then you have this sort of diag that sort of comes into play. And then you have this wonky, wave structure before coming down. So a good example of that is right here. You see how, you can't see it because it's the daily chart, but we came up right here and then we had a 4, 5, 4, 5. And then it kind of creeped up before having, ultimately an A, B, C. So you got to look out for that too. Okay. So is it up? Is it down? Is it sideways or what? Well, I'm not here to give financial advice. I have no idea where the price is going. I'm just speculating based off what I've seen, and what I'm seeing right now looks to be pretty bullish. We broke out. That doesn't mean we're not going to have a pullback. Let's talk about a pullback. So let's go down to the 2-hour chart. I mean, you can see right now we are starting to pull back here. If I take all that off here, let's just focus on this wave right here. You could see this was a 1, 2. This could be a 3, 4. And this is 5, 6. And now we have an ending for a 7. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come here like this and have a big sort of move down here, where we're basically back testing all of this right in here. So this right here was the breakout zone right here. Let me zoom out so you can see. Basically, all of this was the breakout area. Matter of fact, let me take all that off the screen so you can see it much clearer. Okay, so the price, right, we broke out and we can come all the way down ABC and back test this breakout area all the way back down to 28K before having that final move back to the upside. And that would be what? That would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So the back test doesn't have to necessarily come down here. It could actually, let me zoom out here. We can actually back test this area, right? That's really the breakout area right there, right? So price, was in this sort of accumulation area. And right here was the spring. That was the spring. We lifted off with a 1, 2, 1, 2. And then now we're in wave 3. Wave 3 might not be finished. We could come up for one more wave and then come down A, B, C. Back test this area right in here. Right here. And what that does is that confirms the breakout. Because price breaking out is easy. You break out, boom, easy. But the hard part is coming all the way back down to back test the breakout area. And a lot of people don't, they get excited and it breaks out and they buy in, but then it comes all the way back down. We back test it, everybody gets bearish, but then the smart money says, okay, we're on support, we broke out, we're back testing, I'm going to buy. And oftentimes it holds support because, this was resistance. We break out. Now it needs to come down to make it the new support. So this is the new support. And then once that occurs, then we can get that next wave to the upside, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And zooming out, that will finish the entire structure of this move. So what do we have? Well, this could be a B, C, or you can just say this is A, B, and now we're in C, in which case I think I want to see it come up into this area right here. So if we can get up into this area right in here, that would be the ideal part, the ideal point for a retracement. Because like I said, is this a new bull run or is this a bear market retracement, right? So zooming all out, you can see that regardless if it's a retracement or not, I think, you know, XRP is going to do well, and that will be our next video. I'm going to correlate what I'm seeing here with XRP. Okay, so right now, if I had to guess, I'm going to summarize it very fast. This is, let me take everything off the screen. Boom. Okay, so either this is A, B, C, and then we come down. Remember, everybody's like 10K, 14K, 12K, 9K, 10K, 12K. Never came. And never came. So that doesn't mean it's not going to come, right? It's just going to be at a later date if it does, right? So here's the 14K top. And this is the big support right here. This is the major support. So if you can see here, we broke out, but we never came down to back test the breakout zone. We never back tested it. We never confirmed it. So what could be happening is, like I said, this is an A wave, this is a B wave, and now we're going into C. And in which case, we have an A, B, C, and we need to finish up this C wave before we go down. We need to finish, the C wave in the B wave, and then come down in C. So 5 waves in C, 3, 4, 5. We have a proper bottom. This is when Trump is now president. This is after the Joe Biden economic collapse. It makes sense with the stock market. And then we go sideways probably for a while. And then we start our next bull run, probably sometime in 2026. I know it sucks, but hey, that's what it looks like. And then what we have here, zooming all the way out, is this would be, the Binance chart doesn't have it all, but basically it would be a 1, 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. And then this right here is just a monster bear market before we go on our next run. So basically that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is this right here, this right here, is a new bull run, right? So this was ABC. So this was A. This was actually the top right here. So if this was the top, then this was A, this was B, and now this is C right here. So we have an A, B, C, right? So it's done. It's done. We're ready to go. We have a completed market. This is idea number 2. I just gave idea number 1. This is idea number 2. This idea is less likely given the economic conditions, but it's still plausible. And, you know, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin always surprises people. So this is A. Forgive my writing. I'm on a cell phone. Okay, A, B, C, right? And that's nothing. And then, so ABC is complete. And what we just had right here is wave 1, and this is wave 2. Which means what? Now we're starting wave 3, which is probably going to get very high. Maybe not that high. Let's do a Fibonacci and we'll find out. How about that? That's why we have these tools. So we're going to take a trend-based Fibonacci. We're going to take it right there, and we're going to come right down here. And where does that take us? Well, look at that. It takes us right to about $78,000. Right there. About right there. Boom. That's our target. That's our wave 3 target right there. So if this is a new bull run, remember, this is idea number 2. If this is a new bull run, that right there is $78,000 target. That's not too bad. That's all-time new highs. That's amazing. So This is wave 1. This is wave 3. Boom. And in wave 3, we have what? 5 waves. So we have, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. That's now we have 1, 2, 3. And now we need 4, 5. So then we come down for wave 4, which probably meanders around this all-time high area right up in here, right? So if you spread that out right there, it probably has to get through all that junk, that resistance. And then what happens is we finally get our wave 5 to the upside, and that could potentially lead us to $100,000 by the year, probably by 2025, 2026. I mean, come on, guys, that's amazing. If this is the case, if this right here, guys, if this is an A, B, C, then we're done. Then this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not going to be the way I drew it. Nothing is ever the way you drew it. Everything is so hyper complex. Just because I drew it that way doesn't mean it's going to pan out exactly to the T. I'm just giving, my speculation based off Elliott wave, based off wave patterns, that this is going to happen. So what you can see here is that in these waves, like for example, let's take this wave for example. If I zoom in, let's zoom in to the 4-hour chart. Okay, if I zoom into that 4-hour chart, there's a lot of things that could happen in here. There's a lot of things that can happen here. For example, we're up here, we can kind of come down here first, all the way down to 27K before popping up to 42K and then going sideways a little bit, coming back down. So it could be chaotic in here. That's what I'm saying. It can be incredibly chaotic. But I'm not talking about pinpointing exact wave moves. What I'm talking about is the trend, the direction we're going. The direction we're going is higher, according to this idea. Idea number 2 is we have some pullbacks, correction, a little bit higher, and then continue down. But what I'm saying is, this is a mess. Let me take everything off the screen. What I'm saying is, what I just drew 2 minutes ago could very be well the case. But in between that, I mean, guys, this is all we did. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We have an ABC pullback. We continue higher. So the way I drew that is we can actually, move around a lot more before continuing higher. So, the way I draw is just giving you an idea of the direction, not necessarily exactly where it's going to go. So all of this is speculation. I could be, totally wrong. This is not financial advice at all. This is just my speculation. And I gave 2 ideas. And I'll just run that real quick. So idea number 1, this is an idea number 1, this is an A, B, C. In which case we need another wave to the upside to complete wave B, right? And in wave B, we have an A, B, C, right? So we just finished B, and now we're going up into wave C. And wave C is a good wave. It's a long wave, right? Usually it can get, it can get pretty high. It can get between 40 and 50K, honestly. Okay? Not saying that's going to happen next week or next month. We can consolidate. We can go flat for a couple of weeks or even a couple of months before we tag that high, okay? Or we might not even tag it at all. It might be finished now. So that's idea number 1. So we have an A, B, C, and then we come down here, right? We come down here, and then we back test this area. So we broke out. Here's the breakout. And then we come down and back test it, and then we continue higher. Pretty simple. That's the overall consensus, the direction, right? That's what most people believe that's going to happen. That's why I have it at idea number 1. Idea number 2 is very bullish. This is what we want to happen because we all want crypto to succeed. Otherwise, why would we even be in it? The first time you bought crypto, you didn't buy it because you were bearish. You bought it because you were bullish, right? And now you're learning how to trade. You're figuring out, hey, I got to get in, get out. Probably the best strategy is to just dollar cost average so that we don't have to deal with all this. But even though we're dollar cost averaging and we're not trading all the time, we still want to know exactly how is the price movement continuing to fold out? How is everything, getting ready to make a decision, right? That way we can plan for our DCA. Okay, so that was idea number one. Here's idea number two, which is this. I'm just going to do the annotation so you can see it better. So this right here was A, this right here was B, and this right here was C. Okay, and now this right here is wave 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5. And that whole thing would be a new bull run, basically, right? That would be the idea. So I'm hoping that works, but you never know, because look at the stock market, it's crashing. Or, like I said, going back to the other count right here, which is probably more likely, and it's also going to be very bullish for XRP too. So this would be A, B, C. So during this retracement, and then let me turn this on so you can see this is the bull market support band. We are above the bull market support band. We are above the EMA ribbon, and TD sequential. I like to use this as well. I'm just gonna put those two up there. Yeah, so right now we're on a weekly 7. We're on a weekly 7, and that means, so basically these numbers you see, this is TD sequential. So TD sequential is a number. So basically these 9s, I'm not going to get into the whole TD sequential. That's actually going to be for another day. But basically, they're exhaustion indicators. So when you have a 9 buy, you buy. When you have a 9 sell, you sell. Pretty simple. It works better. Let me show you real quick an example here. So you can see, right here, this was you see that green 9 right there? That was a 9 buy. That told you to buy. You buy, and then boom, you see this red 9 right here? That's a red sell. That means you sell. And then look what happened. The price pulled back, and then it continued higher. Then you have another 9 sell. What happened? It pulled back, and then it continued higher. So these 9s kind of help you. And then look at this. We have another 9. So we have one 9, we have another 9, and we have another 9. These 9s help you identify exhaustion and counter trends and reversals, and they work really well. So sometimes on the higher time frames they don't work as good, but if I get a weekly 9 buy, I mean, that's stellar right there. So that's more for the macro, but for the micro, you can see all these 9s in here. They do a pretty good job of telling you what's going to happen. Okay, so basically, guys, that's about it. You guys know where I stand on the market. It's always up or down. Nobody knows exactly where it's going to go. But I think we're in some type of B wave, or because if that was the other count and this was an impulsive, it looks overlapping. See how the price is overlapping each other? It looks fairly weak. I mean, obviously this could be a 1 wave 2 and then we're going into 3, but it looks to me more like this is A, B, C, right? And now we're in the middle of C. I don't think C is finished at all. So I think we still have more room to the upside. So here's another thing I really have to mention right here. The bull market support band. Now I got a little off track here. So the bull market support band is right here. So what I would like to see happen. So let me first of all go back in time to show you exactly how this bull market support band works. So look at here. This was the previous bull run back in 2017. You can see here the price broke below the band, it back tested it, broke below again, played around with it, but then it got rejected, rejected, rejected. Then we flattened out, we broke above the bull market support band, we tested it, lifted off. 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 Look at this. We tested it, we lifted off. So this band right here is an important thing for back testing. Because think of the band, think of the price like a Tesla Model S or Plaid or whatever. Think of it as an electric car. And the band is a charging station, right? So the car is taking off into hyperspace, and then it comes down to recharge. It takes off, it comes down to recharge. It takes off, and basically it's done, right? And then we come underneath, and then look, now it's underneath the band. It can't get above the band, right? So now, fast forward to today, what do we see? Same type of thing. We resisted it, we came down, we broke above it. Now we're testing it. We broke above it, we tested it, we broke above it, and then look what happened. We fell below it, tricking everybody, thinking, okay, now we're done here. But what happened? We broke above it. So now what needs to happen? It needs to come back down to test it, because every single time throughout the history of Bitcoin, the price breaks to the upside, then it comes down to what? Back test it. Okay, so let's look at that right here. Let me go down to the, let's see, what do I want here? Let's go to the 2-day chart. Okay, so looking at the 2-day chart, you can see, we broke above it. And here's the band right here. So the band's going to go like this. It's going to start trending higher like that. So what could happen is we can A, B, C, and we can test that band. That, my friends, would be the buying opportunity. But it's all contingent. It's all contingent on it holding, right? It can play around. You want to see a reaction off the band, maybe another test of the band, and then continue higher. So this band right here is like your charging station. So you don't want to buy it necessarily when it breaks above the band. You want to buy it when it comes down and retests the band. Remember, this is the bull market support band. This is your charging station. So if you go back to the previous bull run, look, it gave you no chances at all. The market was so extended, it did not test the band, not even once. The only time it tested it was, here was COVID, we broke above it. We didn't even test it then. I was waiting for a test. We never came. We broke up here. We came here, and we tested it. The last time I bought Bitcoin was a real amount of Bitcoin was back here, back when it was 8-9K. I was buying like crazy all through this correction because I was looking at this like a bull flag, and rightfully so. This was a markup, and then this was right here was a bull flag. So you could see my ugly flag, but that's basically what I was doing. And when we got this move right here, I remember that day specifically. I came home from work, I was in the garage, I just pulled in, I turned my car off, I looked at the price, and we were literally at the bottom. I walked upstairs, I took a shower, I came out, and we were already up like 10%. I'm like, I gotta get in, and I could have bought the bottom and missed it though, but I got a pretty good price. So anyway, I digress. You guys know where I stand. I think this is a good little session here. We had our 5 waves up in A. We had our B. We come up in this impulse, right? We want to look for a retest of the band. And then the band can continue, marching higher. And then if we want to remain bullish, we got to come down and test it and then continue higher. If that's the case. If that's not the case, then this is just going to be an A, B, C, and then we're gonna fall flat. So the next video, I'm going to compare that into XRP. Hope you watch that video. It's going to be epic because I'm not even in Bitcoin. I don't want to touch Bitcoin. I just use Bitcoin as an instrument to tell me where we are in the market. XRP is the real play. XRP is the one that's going to make you tons of money, not financial advice, but yeah, it's going to be crazy. So if XRP, so let me just say this, if we come down here, XRP is not going to look good. But if we have another, let me take everything off the screen so you can see what I'm saying. So if this is an A and this is a B and this is a C, then we still have more room to the upside. So during that room to the upside, we can get some crazy alt rallies, right? And the best way the altcoins rally, right? I forgot to say this. The best way altcoins rally is when Bitcoin, so here's the bull market support band right here. There's the band. When Bitcoin comes down and tests the band right here, when it tests that band and it confirms and holds it, and then it starts lifting off, that right there is the best time for altcoins. Boom. So are we going to see that? Is it going to be a dump? We don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm a hodler. I love crypto. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and a comment, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.